Yeah, I was a little surprised. I was like, oh wow, because I was like, yeah, I don't usually like touch base with people.
Yeah, no, it's good.
I was really happy I saw you on that. I was like, wow, like that. I'm a bit nervous. I'm like, wow,
It's
I'm
live.
surprised. Yeah,
Yeah,
is it
I'm
live?
sharing it. It's live
Let's
on your
see.
page.
Okay,
I
let's
can
see.
see you on there.
It's showing the wrong title for some reason. It's not. I'm going to change the title.
Yeah.
And change it.
I'll just share it out while you're getting set up.
Yeah. Okay, hang on. Yeah, there's some crazy shit going on here. I don't know what's happening. Rob James. I'm going to change it on every platform. There you are. Okay, I just tagged.
Awesome.
We got 14 people in the house. We changed it on Soulogy. And wow, this is weird. It really is. I don't see this on Soulogy.
It's on there. It's on Soulogy.
Oh, it is on Soulogy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Try it again. Yeah. I can't find it. It's got the wrong title on it. It's the right title on my page when I tagged you on.
It's on my page. I have it live, so it's live.
What does it show as the title?
Soulogy. It's an old one, 5D Melissa Dehan.
So okay, so it's yeah.
But
so
it is.
Okay, so let me see if I can. God, this is crazy. But you know, technical difficulties, we also I don't know why that looks that way. But there we are. Here, I'm going to change it here. Edit post. I don't know what's going on. I have a feeling it's not just here. That the energy on the earth is just doing some crazy stuff.
Oh my God! Yeah, you'll have to change it after.
Yeah, I'm going to change it. I already. Let's see. Okay, I changed it there. I changed it on my page. YouTube usually corrects itself. It's got the right name on here, but it didn't. It didn't go to the. Let me just try Soulogy one more time because I don't see it. Oop. All right. No, not there. Huh. I'll find it later.
It's on my page. It's on
my page. Let me go into YouTube just so we can get it right.
Yeah.
Sounds a bit rough. Your sound is really choppy. Am I choppy to you?
You sound really clear on my end. It sounds good here. So.
Oh, this is really kind of irritating me. Okay, so it's not showing up yet. I have to go back and change it. So okay. So as I was saying, first of all, I'm cutting in and out unless it's just me. No, it's me. My signal is really bad. I don't know. What do you think, Rob? Do you think
it sounds good on my end, though? I think we should just kind of try to do it. But you don't sound that bad on my end where I'm hearing it from. I mean,
let's see. You stay right here. I'm gonna just zoom out and come right back.
Okay.
Hang on. I'll be right back. Okay, how's that?
That's good. Oh my God, and I see you now. Good. Hi.
So, Roger, now, are you in England? What do I think?
I was for almost 5 years. I am back in America. I just came back over here in October, so I've been here a few months. I'm in Northern California right now.
Are you anywhere near Junction City?
No, but I'm getting ready to go visit Shasta and probably some other, we'll say, sites and places in America to go travel a little. Wow. So kind of over by Shasta a little bit, not that far away, a couple hours away.
Okay. Are you around Redding?
Kind of not. I'm over more like by Chico area right now.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm gonna go over to
Redding.
Mount Shasta area.
So I just want to say deep respect because we were just talking before all the technical issues, but I've seen you out there for a long time. And you're like, yeah, I think as long as you, I think so. Like I really didn't start doing videos in earnest till September 2015, but I did a few before then, but I know I've seen you there a long time. I've always had a tremendous amount of respect for you because you do your thing and you just do it unabashedly, and you're down to earth, and like me, you've taken some hits from people, you know, and you just keep going, and I really admire that. It's not an easy thing to get out there, and even if you're not like doing shows and you're just doing videos by yourself, I mean, but I really like, yeah, I really like what you do, and I really appreciate what you do, and I know what it takes. So, big props to you and the work that you're doing. So, how did it all start? I mean, were you always this weird, or did you wake up this way?
I more was going through like a spiritual awakening. So I always probably had spiritual gifts, but was trying to like fit in and act normal and things like that. But I would say that I can notice where the energy started to rise on the planet, where I started to go through something and to experience something in a spiritual awakening. And it seemed like at that point that I was the only one going through something like that. And so I got on video on Facebook and started to talk about it more, like kind of probably starting like a blog and just putting it out there that I was having spiritual experiences and just to connect with other spiritual like-minded people. But immediately that's when I started to realize that it wasn't just me going through this experience, the entire planet is that we're experiencing this spiritual awakening together. So I couldn't have even pictured it would kind of like go so fast like that. I probably started doing videos about a year after you anyway, like right around the same timeline when you're saying the date that you started. I've been doing them probably since about 2015 too,
Hmm.
and just kind of feeling a calling to get out there and kind of talk about it.
Yeah, what was that like? I know for me, it was like I think I did one in January 2015, one in February, one in March, one in April. And they were all like a minute and a half, 2 minutes long. And then I remember sitting, like it must have been like the end of a week. I was actually working. I was working in the construction business, in the and construction industry. But anyway, I had gotten off work on a Friday, and I literally sat on the couch for 3 days and was trying to come to terms with what I was being guided to do and what the hell I was going to do, And I just turned on the doors, break on through the other side, flipped on the camera, and I just started talking. But what was it like for you? I mean, it's one thing to have an awakening, and it's another thing as part of that awakening, that your guidance is telling you, hey, get the phone out and turn on the video and start talking to people. What was that like for you?
Oh my God. That's why I was saying I kind of, when I look at you as like Ascension ground crew, where you're kind of getting in there and doing this deeper work. And I probably see you a lot on Facebook day after day, doing these videos and feeling a call to help in some kind of way. So
Hmm.
it's one thing, yeah, to go through a spiritual awakening. I started to feel like a real calling to help. And it goes against like just who I am to get on video. Even every day, still, I get a little nervous and a little awkward with trying to get out there. And even to put this stuff into words, it's like hard to put on video or to find words for what we're experiencing or what we're going through during this time. But I just felt such a pull to help on some type of level in whatever way that I could with whatever's kind of going on the planet during this time. So it's a little bit like awkward still even getting on video and things like that, but I'm feeling that pull to get out there and kind of talk about it too and bring this kind of more out into the open too with this kind of videos and things.
Yeah, yeah. No, I can appreciate that. And you have, and I can't tell you verbatim, but just, because I don't really spend a lot of time watching full videos, but I just like pick up the energy, and then I come back and I'll see, like, if it's you, I'll see you on there and I'll go, what's she doing? And then I'll watch a little bit, and you pick up the energy, you get it, you get the code. And, but like, you seem to have certain proclivities, sensibilities or sensitivities, I should say, higher sensitivities. Everybody has their own attributes that seem to be more enhanced than others, and she can do this and he can do that and I can do this. But like, what are you kind of in alignment with, like with what you do on a personal level, what you experience? I mean, do you have like dimensional experiences, interdimensional visitations? Do you hear one voice of the universe? Do you see other consciousnesses, that type of thing?
I'm very much working with source energy. So when I'm like even doing my videos, I just describe it as I'm very connected to this energy and I'm channeling it and bringing it into my experience, but it's like it talks to me anyway. So it's
Mm,
almost like it works through us. If you can kind of be in that flow of the universe and we can allow source to channel through us or work through us, a lot of times when I'm doing my videos, it kind of feels like I'm kind of channeling that source energy. I'm
right.
having, we'll say, spiritual experiences, very galactic experiences too, where I mean, I've had a lot of like different experiences, whether in the dream world, being aboard ships, or dreaming about other places, galactic kind of past lives. I'm definitely channeling and working with galactics too, just in the terms of healing and things like that. I don't talk about it a lot usually too, but I'm having like extraterrestrial kind of experiences mostly with healing and things like that, where I've been taught a lot about healing, bringing different kinds of healing to the planet. So all these are very positive experiences for me personally that I've had, where I'm being guided and taught, and mainly about like helping the planet, different modalities of healing, how we can detox and channel the energies, work with the energies. So I definitely have that galactic kind of connection with the healing work that I'm doing. That's why I was kind of struggling going through this awakening, because at the time I was very closed minded and I started to have my own kind of bigger interdimensional experiences. So I'm feeling obviously very multidimensional in this world too. That's something that I'm struggling with, working on kind of integrating into all of this too, as I'm moving through my ascension path, because it can be kind of hard to like be channeling interdimensional energies into the physical, or sometimes it can feel like I'm somewhere else because I'm tapping into other dimensions where I can bring through guidance and things like that. So I definitely have that connection with spirit as well too, and kind of pulling through information. That's kind of what I'm good at too. Like I channel a
Right.
lot all day long,
Right.
and I'm able to channel on different things, whether it's guidance, healing, ways that we can help, and then most of this is coming galactically through too.
Right. Yeah, that's always been an interesting thing for me is the galactic part. I kind of feel like that those aspects of us that are galactic are facilitators of this ascension for some reason. Like they're the closest thing to us. I know we get elemental connections and angelic, archangelic, other divine essences, but there seems to be like a more prominent expanding role when it comes to star family to include inner earth, Sasquatch, interdimensional beings and such. But do you get like specific guidance like as a team or that's supporting you?
For sure. So, and I've been across the planet with like nothing but just myself. And I'm kind of on a different kind of path too than we'll say some people here too. So I have to really connect with that as my gifts. That's what I have here. And so I am being guided through it, whether it's information I need about myself, the people around me, to navigate the experience. Like I get directions with what to do next, where I'm going, like what I'm doing. So just kind of pulling through guidance. I think there's a lot also happening interdimensionally, because I'm having like dream experiences and things like that. So we're getting like a small glimpse of it, where I feel there's a lot happening on higher dimensional levels. I feel like there's a lot happening galactically with the energies coming into the planet, and some of the ascension process where we're being kind of assisted during this time too with it all too. So for me, when I kind of tap into myself, it's very galactic, like on a different kind of level with the gifts too. And I think that's kind of new coming to the planet too. That is kind of like a little bit new with it too.
Yeah, it feels like it's getting thicker with that. Especially this year. Like it just feels like there's a lot of galactic presence. I keep getting this. I don't know if it's a feeling or a knowing or whatever you want to call it. That hazy space in between. Uh, that lately the galactic participation. Not that it hasn't been, but I'm just saying, for me, and even some things I picked up with other people doing the show and just seeing things out there that like they're doing stuff inside our body to repair it, to make it clear or whatever the case is, unobstruct it. Just like I can almost feel like fingers in my body, hands in my body, rearranging things in my skull. I mean, just different things. I don't know. Can you relate to that at all?
I think that the body's changing, that we're going through like a really fast transformation within the energy. So there's so much healing. And we can always say that's always coming through, whether it's your angels sending you healing, the galactics, different positive energies being sent to help us that we can kind of call in and work with. So I think that mainly there's like a lot happening on galactic levels with some of the changes in the body that we're going through, and that we're being sent energies to help us, to heal us on a lot of levels. So whether this is individually or even on a planetary level, that these energies are meant to really like cleanse us, purifying us. They are changing our DNA, but in a positive way where we can reconnect with our soul and our gifts and like, tap into as we should be. And so it is to help us heal us on a lot of levels, some of the things that are happening on the planet during this time.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. No doubt at all. And like, I don't know if everybody caught that, but I did. So you were in England for 5 years. You made a reference that you've been around the world a little bit with nothing. Mateus De Stefano just ended a year thing he was doing at the pyramids. I know I've seen his story on Gaia, the 3-part series that was before initiation. And it's about, it sounds like everybody's story here. It's just a much bigger kind of thing where he went to like 50 countries and he didn't know how anything was going to happen, and everything just fell into place, as almost like you're taking a step into a darkness, and every time your foot's about to hit the ground, a golden stone appears for you to land on. But like I have a feeling that you've experienced that, and I think a lot of people are starting to experience that type of thing. Is that accurate? Did you just get the guidance and you got to go here, you got to go there, you don't have the money, you're like, hey, wait a minute, I don't have any.
I was like with you sometimes, because I have watched with all of you guys like on Facebook. I'm watching your stories too, where you had to just follow that guidance, and sometimes you're just getting like little breadcrumbs or pieces and not all of it, and you have to just kind of follow that energy as it's guiding us, because there is an energy guiding us, and sometimes it's really loud and clear like you're going here, and sometimes it's just a little like sensation or a nudge or like that spark that we kind of had to pay attention to. So really like tuning into that guidance, and I think we can kind of tune into it better. I had no idea where I would end up going over there. I had no clue. Just going over there with the flow. And then of course, no, I ended up going to a lot of sacred and spiritual places and had amazing things happen. But it's taught me a new level of faith and trust with the universe too, in that I have to go where I'm being called to at different times too. And that can be a little kind of unnerving, but it's helped me personally with releasing and purging out a lot of fear of the unknown and things like that, and become a better person through this journey that I'm kind of going through. But I feel very guided I work with a lot of the, we'll say, grid points. I work as a grid worker with the planet and with the earth energies too. So I found that I'm very guided to working with the higher energy places. So this is the second time I will have been to Mount Shasta. And so I'm kind of guided to getting more into some of the, we'll say, earth chakra areas and things like that. So you kind of just have to follow that energy where it's guiding you, and then trust that there's this greater universal plan that is becoming apparent, that it's so much bigger than all of us at this point. We have to really trust and kind of just follow those energies.
Yeah, it's definitely a different template. And a lot of people that you're referring to, and I think you too, are energy practitioners or have some type of offering or offerings that they do that are not really conventional. So there's that whole, you see people 4 or 5 years ago don't charge anything for anything, and then there's people that the other end of the spectrum. So I think that's kind of been like I guess a challenge, or part of what's been evolving or changing, is how we reach that point, or how we create that point of an equal energy exchange while you're traveling around and being told to go do things and you don't have any money, and how you're going to do this. Has that been a challenge for you? I mean, I think you're a practitioner, right?
That we're always taken care of and provided for, whether it's like you need something and an encounter comes about into your awareness, or someone, I've seen like the most amazing encounters that I had traveling back to America, because I did come back during the crazy pandemic with a lot of rules, and I couldn't even just leave right away when I was coming back to America, because some of the rules I had to wait like probably a year over there.
Wow.
Come back. And so it was kind of a big deal. But I saw like amazing, miraculous encounters where people will come to help you in your awareness, or amazing things. The universe will always send you whatever it is, whether it's in a person or an encounter or an experience, or if you need something, it kind of just showing up randomly. And so we're learning how to create more on a fifth dimensional level, where before I think people would kind of sit in their third dimensional template and they would create the 30-year plan and you'd stay in the same house, kind of like in there, where we're learning to just kind of go into the unknown and to create in a different kind of way too.
Yeah. I always say to myself, do I want to stay in the the uncomfortable known, or go into the comfortable unknown? Even though you don't walk in and it's comfortable, because it's a very present, expanding experience as it happens, kind of thing. So like, do you have like go-to essences or go-to faces of the universe that seem to be like escorting you, or is it just always changing?
I'm just connecting with source, and like as a universal energy that speaks to us. It's
Right.
everyone and all around us, and it's always guiding us. And whether it's speaking to us through messages we're seeing, synchronicity, little things we're being shown, downloads, things like that, tapping into that, and then just connecting with my own spirit guides or the galactics that work with me through the healing work that I'm doing.
Wow. Yeah, I know too that, of course, what's been going on the last 2 years. Of course, it's funny how that programming, that suggestive programming, or whatever you want to call it, has totally left mainstream media in the last 3 or 4 days. I looked at one of the main mainstream media platforms the day after Ukraine, and there was 57 headlines before anything was mentioned about COVID, and there was only 2 headlines about COVID and about 80 different headlines. But what I'm getting at is, I know that energy that's been presented and all the things that it's brought is a reflection of what's going on with us, individually, and bringing up things and so on. But it also happens on a local level with contemporaries and friends, and everything's taken on different meanings, and family and all that stuff. How do you uh, engage or not engage things that are presented to you that are, let's just say, antagonistic, or imbalancing, or whether they be individuals attacking you, because I know we share that in common. And I mean, how do you deal with that stuff?
Okay, trying to see, I joke around. I say that when we first started this, it wasn't always like as easy as it might be now, where people weren't as like open to it. Where suddenly I feel that because of the energies changing, people are opening up more to what we might have to say, or
Right.
the messages that we might have to share. And so that's what we are here too. We're kind of sharing a message, or we're being messengers of the divine. And so for me, just doing that clearing work, like I've gone all into this ascension stuff and just trying to change my life. I only got on video because this stuff really helped me, instantly just shift, problems that I had going on in my life. And so I always just wanted to share the things I was learning that were effective for me, and how I was learning to kind of heal myself too. So for me, clearing out the situations, that's so hard. What you just mentioned, friends and family and things that are coming up into our awareness. So even if it's like hard, clearing out any kind of, we'll say, negative feelings, energies within us, clearing out the negative connections, trying to see everything as a lesson or experience. So sometimes, like if we're having hard, challenging kind of experience, that's all moved me to where I am now. So I didn't always have an easy time like going and doing videos and things like that, but each lesson was there to teach me and guide me into my purpose, into where I wanted to be in doing all of this. So sometimes those lessons that we might have had earlier on have helped us and kind of where we are now in doing all of this too. So just continuing to clear any kind of like negative situations, karmic kind of situations, things like that will really help you, continuing to just focus on your own healing journey, your own path, and where it's taking you to.
Yeah. Yeah. And you said something there too, like the therapeutic aspect of picking up, a phone and turning on the video and just doing it, like there's something about, like, if I look back and, the memories on Facebook, and I'm in the old studio, and, no shirt on, and, hair's all wild, and, you know, and I look, and of course, at first I'm going, oh my God, because I don't listen to anything. I can't really watch anything that I do. But then I'll, look, kind of step out and look at like, what was that? Like, what was that? Like on this one, you sounded like this, on this one, you sounded like that. And I realized that it's intention, right? Like it's the intention that you have. It's not even about what you're saying. It's like a frequency or a band of frequencies that people kind of pick up. And I see people like you, both in Soulogy and outside of Soulogy, obviously, that seems to be the real draw, the magnet, is the heart's opening up to vulnerability, the authenticity, the transparency. Do you relate to that? Do you feel like that's been therapeutic for you when you do the videos? And do you feel like that's what the common ground is with your audience? Oh, I think it's her now. She's out. 69 in the house. Hello, everybody. Hopefully she'll come back out. Come back in. Oh, are you there? Okay. We'll just give it a second. It'll come back. Oh, there you are. You back?
Yeah, like you said, energy and intention, just having those good intentions of healing. Like, having those good intentions, healing the planet.
Yeah. I heard you. You came in.
I'm not sure if you can hear me. Hello? Getting out there. And that's kind of what, has made this different, kind of putting in that groundwork of helping. And so that's what it's all about. Intentions. To help the planet. I look at you as, and me, and the work that we're doing as rising up and helping in a powerful way.
Yeah.
Are you there?
Yes, we heard. We heard it. I picked up on what you said.
It came in now. Okay, good.
It came in sound bites, but yeah, we got it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, but and I think okay. So like, let's expand this a little bit. Like what you're talking about and what we see with people that are basically, and I'm not saying this is for everybody, because you can do it in a written post. You can do it a lot of ways through a piece of art. I mean, I'm just saying that it's like people are putting out their true self, right? And I guess that's what's happening on a local level with all of us, is we're figuring out what we're not and being what we are, and being, a little more confident, have a little more courage, and stepping out there and doing that. And that's got to be having a huge effect on the collective, the new earth grid, as people might say. Don't you think?
For sure it is too. Just us doing this work, healing ourselves, raising the frequency, bringing more spiritual energy into the planet. So you're creating a lot of positive energy when you do your videos and things like that. Creating positive energy is just so powerful during this time. So even when you're like flowing and doing what you love and bringing that to the collective, it's inspirational and very motivating.
Yeah. So what's like, keep going. You went silent. Uh-oh. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Ah, this is wild.
I know.
Anytime we have tech issues like this, it's always very high frequency. Something's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah. What you were talking about. I forgot now. I can't.
High energy is right. Bringing good energy to the planet.
Yeah, we're blowing it up right now, apparently. It's just Vortex with all these people as well. I'm just curious, someone like you who's really been down in the trenches doing this, I mean, it's something I can relate to. Like, what's your outlook on what's happening and where we're headed? And I know that predictions and prognostications are pretty much useless now, but I feel like we're doing extremely well. Things are getting very fast. Things could break in a moment's notice. I don't tend to have the doom and gloom that is out there, and rightfully so. But what's your take on what's going on and where we're going?
I think we have a lot kind of playing out in one place. And so a lot of people are focused on, we'll say the healing right now. I do believe there is a little bit of a healing crisis, but it might not even be what it seems, in that this is the effect of raising the frequency. And so sometimes people are purging and needing to release and needing to heal in this space. So we have all of that happening in one place. But I think that we're able to connect on a deeper level with ourselves, with the energy. We're awakening and tapping into our true selves, our soul gifts, right? Shifting past the ego, even becoming more multidimensional in this space. So humanity's going through a total upgrade right now in what we're capable of. Suddenly we can manifest and we can tap into this kind of stuff like never before. So I only have like positive things about the future. I do think it is important that we're all kind of, focusing on the healing work and working on ourselves in this space, but I only have excitement about whatever is going to happen, because I do feel something's going to happen, not in an old doomsday kind of sense, but more in an exciting way where we can tap into these high frequencies and create something different on the planet, more in alignment with ourselves. So I do feel there are things kind of falling away on a collective level, and that we're going to kind of shift more and more collectively into that fifth dimensional space where more people are awakening and learning and tapping into this space. And as more are, it'll become easier. And so we are going up in frequency, and every person on the planet is experiencing that in some way. However, it's affecting people might be different, but we are going up. We're ascending. We're going up in frequency during this time. So there's also a healing that's happening. I feel the more that we continue to kind of rise up in frequency, we're going to tap into the spiritual more too, where it's opening up more and merging down into ours. So suddenly, people are having encounters with, whether it's angels or spiritual energies or spirit guides or orbs, right? Or dragons, and the magic kind of coming back into our world too. And so, these energies are really, really powerful. Sometimes it can be a lot moving through some of these ascension energies, but they are healing us. And I think we can all kind of see, like, long-term, we're having a positive effect on us.
Yeah. And this is real talk. And so I really appreciate it, because people might look at someone like you and go, man, she's got it so easy. Like she never has a bad day. Do you get triggered? Do you get knocked on your horizontal? Do you get knocked horizontal with these energies?
In that public eye, and that we're expected to really go through this ascension. So I know that, I don't know about you, but I know we've had harder paths to prepare us for this. That is our training and our experience, the path that we've walked. So I think it's just really about how we're reacting to things, staying high vibration. So, I've been going through, we'll say, a big transition lately, but what I can do is stay in alignment, work on my energy, decide what kind of attitude I'm going to have about it too, right? So I think we're getting harder paths. If anything, we're kind of getting put in this ascension kind of lifestyle. We might even be more sensitive to some of the energies coming in. So if we are, a light worker or someone a little bit more open, maybe we're receiving more of these energies or feeling them at different times. So that can be challenging too, as we're moving through some of the energies, the highs and lows come in with them, the changes within the body. I know a lot of people are at different times feeling the energies in ascension symptoms, whether it's just sometimes you're feeling those highs and lows, or even feeling a little achy, or
Right.
one day we're very much feeling these energies more. But I do feel that too with the universe too, because it's really easy to it's important that we are staying humble and grounded too while we're doing this work, that we really did come here to heal on a lot of levels. So it is important that we're kind of like walking our own path too, like that.
Yeah. I don't think we have a choice in that anymore. Like, even if you have a partner, I mean, there's just certain things that are done in the space, like the secret place of the Most High, as the Christians say, or, the soul, or whatever, the pineal, whatever. But yeah, there just seems to be a lot of stuff coming up. I mean, we talked about all this stuff for years. You would hear it all the time. There's going to come a time, and here we are. This instant manifestation thing isn't what I thought. It's more like, be careful what you think. Be careful what where you're going with this, because it gets brutal pretty quick if you're not on your toes, right?
And so that's what's making us have to practice this stuff, that we really do have to be careful with our thoughts now, and that we need to be careful with our intentions and what we want in life. And if it's not in alignment with these new energies, it's not going to work out very good too. So I think we're having a lot, like, move around more, shift around more for us during this time too. But it's all kind of pushing us to be more authentic, or to tap into, our deeper purpose, ourselves on a deeper level too. So it's important that we're being authentic. And so, if we do have things kind of being stripped away, those are like layers of ourself that we're moving past. And we're just kind of becoming more, we'll say, purified and more authentic in these energies too. They are here to purify us.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. With the fire of Cali.
And we're
There's
seeing
been
that. But funny you mentioned that, because one of the things that I came back for, I missed the fires over here. And that, so we say that, but we can see that reflected through some of the world, this awakening and things that are happening too on a collective level like never before. That suddenly we're seeing, right, those fires in person as we're kind of moving through these energies.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. The playing field's getting evened out pretty quick. It seems like it's getting evened out. Everybody's going to be at the same level, whether you like it or not. I call it, I can just speak from my own journey, but like I was talking to Morgan yesterday, and I was just talking about my evolution and how I kind of saw it in retrospect, which was obviously I'm a male, and I had a male timeline or a male journey, alpha male, and all that stuff, and then coming into contact with the feminine energy, which obviously she was a big part of, with the physical representation of the feminine energy, and the whole process of discovering that side of you, right? And how to me, it just felt like a total disintegration. Like I was already doing work on myself, and I was, connecting like so many people, 2012, 13, 14, so on. But, it's also not a coincidence that I started doing videos in earnest 2.5 weeks after I connected with her. So, you look back at that and go, oh, I see the energy was at work there. But what I'm saying is it was just like a total splintering, like a total disintegration of everything that you thought you were. And you're just there in this field of pixels, of cosmic pixels, going, okay, what is this? Where do I go from here?
I think feminine energy is so important in the awakening too. That's the difference too, where suddenly we have the awakened feminine helping with the planet, whether you're having one come into your life and into your awareness or interacting. That is something that's happening too, that we see I don't want to say like recalibration of the feminine, where suddenly we're going to rise up as equals once again, where suddenly there isn't the past. And I know this is a long time ago, we'll say suppression of the feminine. We're being guided to tune into the feminine and our intuition, guidance.
Right. Which to me, going back to what you were saying earlier, this is just how I see it. And I'm not trying to throw this on anybody, but like what you were talking about earlier, like what actually happens when we start to sustain ourselves in, let's just say, an expanded band of frequencies, that for me, it's like my thoughts are on teleportation, remote viewing, these things that are considered psychic, that are actually in our natural, it's our natural way. And that'll be seen more and more. And to your point earlier about people that are open to these things or these types of things, those are the people that are probably going to experience them first. And like you said, it'll become easier and easier for the collective and other people.
Yeah, I believe that we're all psychic and empaths, and this is our natural state, and that this can be taught too. So I always think we can all do this. And I know that too. So sometimes like I'd be, trying to show others a way, but we're all, as you say, equal, experiencing this together at the same level too. And but I believe that, we can learn how to do these things. So I'm doing the remote viewing as I am. I'm very connecting galactically, but I'm able to tune into different things and stuff like that. So I think that this is just going to become normal as we're moving through some of these layers of awakening to the more inner work that we're doing, that we can all connect in this way, and that we can all learn to connect in this way too.
Some people, and a lot of them are women, because we know that you guys have been leading the way. I mean, all you got to do is look at the makeup of these communities and these groups and platforms, and you're like, your platform. But like, I forgot what I was going to say. a lot of the feminine tend to bring in information, right? Like, I mean, it's like they're the transmitter receiver, the sender receiver. Like they just women's intuition. You know, I mean, there's a reason they say that. Has it ever been a struggle for you to be getting this information? You've got the information, you're either on your way to embodying it or embodying it. You know how this stuff works. It's all like just snap, snap, snap. I mean, has it ever been a challenge to your ego? I know it's a lot of information for some of these people, and what they're connecting to is that would be a lot for anybody. Was that ever a threat or something you had to had to contend with?
So it took me a long time because I have to stay like grounded with it. So it can just overflow you. You can just be getting so much. It can be hard to make sense of it, where sometimes I'm being shown things, little situations and things, and then you have to kind of make sense of it, or you're getting the downloads and all of the information, and maybe you're receiving it, maybe you forget it 5 minutes later, right? Like maybe you're downloading in the morning and you forget half of it, or you don't understand it, or you're getting flooded with a lot, and it's a lot of information to make sense to. So for me, like this morning, I was having very vivid dreams. I had to like get a pen and paper and write it down, or try to make sense of it. So I kind of was like going into it and writing it down, or I try to write articles because I'm getting Ascension information a lot of the time, and I'm trying to, like, the best I can write it down or put it on video. Maybe sometimes you get up on video and it's hard to put it into words or to teach it, or to, you know, tell other people about something like that too, with the way we're receiving the information. So it can be like a lot to make sense of. I think it's really taken me a few years to even get to this place where I can articulate some of the Ascension and what's even happening when I'm trying to like write about it or talk about it. So definitely it can flood you with information. I had a lot of issues earlier on because I had gifts and I don't think people understand them from where I was at that point in time. And so, you know, now I'm much more grounded in my gifts and my abilities after my spiritual awakening too, and kind of shifting into that fifth dimensional kind of perspective with it all too. So it can be a lot. It can overload me. I have to spend a lot of time alone sometimes, leaving some of the downloads. So sometimes with these gifts, when I'm like around a lot of people or things like that, it really is like a sensory overload. Like I'm getting a lot of kind of thing. So I'm probably spending more time alone, right? And
I think a lot of people have been, you know, obviously with the COVID, when it came out in early 2020, I mean, you had the quarantines. That speaks to solitude, and you know, people not going to work, kids not going to school and all that. So that's been a real gift. And what you're saying, like, because everything's moving so fast, you almost really have to adapt or adopt a way of like just saying, hey, I know I just got downloaded. I don't know what the hell it means. I guess it'll come to me whenever I need it, should I need it. But I don't know. Do you ever have those moments of like even like this morning where you're like, you walk away and you're going, did I just make all that up?
Because I've learned how to really trust myself. So that's, I don't even know. I know society, I use this word a lot lately, like gaslighting us, whether they're society gaslighting us and trying to, you know, sell us on being normal and taking this, we'll say medication or doing this, and it will make you have a better existence and things like that. So I'm way past that now. I have so much trust and faith in this path and this wherever it's going to guide me. So having trust in these abilities, I'm also seeing that maybe that old world we're not fitting in because we are here to, you know, fit into that spiritual world. So yes, in a lot of this spiritual information is not fitting in that third dimensional paradigm, right?
That's right. Yeah.
For it. And so in a lot of ways that can be kind of weird too and awkward because maybe I'm not in those worlds so much anymore. I'm pulling back from them too because, you know, I'm trying to create a spiritual world or a spiritual reality, just having so much trust. I know that with, you know, whether you needed something and got a miracle or something only the universe could do, there's things that are so much past us that occur within our reality that at a certain point we kind of had to open up to this kind of stuff. And probably people do that on an individual level where you start to trust and see the universe working its magic around us all of the time too. So just having more trust in the things kind of coming to you. So sometimes, you know, I can notice those downloads coming and it's information and maybe I'm only remembering half of it, but just knowing that it's within us for when we need it. You never know. You could get on video one day and suddenly the most divine things channel out. And this could have been from a download that we don't remember. So just trusting that we're receiving knowledge energetically. We call them downloads. And so we all are kind of having things come to us. It could just be, you know, a sense to do this different with your life. I think a lot of people are getting that with being shown ideas or dreams about their future and in subtle kind of ways that we're all kind of connecting. And so it's all about kind of having confidence in whatever's coming through too.
There seems to have been an increase in the conveyance of individuals having connections with people that are incarnated in dream state. It's always been there. You know, people will hit you up and go, "Hey, you were in my dream last night." But it seems like that's really been picking up this year. Like, you know, just over the last 2, 3, 4, 5 months, whatever, where people are you know, having the same experiences, or are acknowledging that, you know, they're connecting in what we call dream state, which is an interesting twist on all of this. Because I'm always like, I go to bed at night going, I'd like to remember more about what I'm doing when I'm asleep. And it just creeps in and it creeps in and creeps in. It's kind of like, you know, that word, you know, it's on the tip of your tongue, but you can't say it. It's like that type of energy where it's there, but it's not there. I don't know if you can relate to that.
My God, yeah. And then I'm not remember. Sometimes I remember my dreams so much, sometimes not. But it doesn't mean that we're not having those experiences. So on some level, whether it's our higher self in another dimension guiding us, our dreams that we go to every night, or, you know, astral experiences, things that are happening around us, we are tapping in, and maybe we're not always remembering it, but underneath we always are. So we're having those experiences for sure. And I do feel that we'll remember them more and more. And that a lot of times, maybe if you're doing videos too, you probably are having more encounters with people. You probably are teaching on every other levels. And so sometimes, you know, we're doing that. I think we're visiting and like teaching, and maybe people are like seeing you in your dreams. You're probably, you know, helping them in some way or connecting with other light workers. I think that, I mean, I've had other light workers say, we think we're connecting in our sleep in the dream time because we can't connect as easily here. So you're probably just connecting on different levels.
Yeah. Yeah. And it would seem like it'd be more and more abundant and more of it recollected. You know, it would just make sense with everything else as more people are embracing and engaging what you call the Ascension lifestyle. I like that. And it's like, you know, I look at it like this, just in my own experience, you know, individually, like with Morgan, you know, with just watching people and interacting and observing, that I call it the Forrest Gump bubble. Like I say, you're in a Forrest Gump bubble. You've gone around for 5 or 6 years. You didn't know how it was going to work. You know, everything. It's almost like you're impervious, you know, based on your mindset, you know, because I mean, these things still creep in and this and that. But like you said, are you going to look at this from a 5D perspective, or are you going to look at it from the old programming? But I don't know if you feel that way. Do you feel like that you know, I know this sounds a little bit, but like that you're protected, like you're good, you know, like
this is what we're going to be saying, that if God has a plan for your life, or the universe, whatever you believe in, has a plan for your life, there's nothing that's going to stop that. Even negative encounters or negative people, they're part of your plan to move you forward. And so even if you're having like things happen, sometimes that's a catalyst for moving us, or the universe guiding us where we should be. But on whatever level, we do have to remember that the universe has such a plan for all of us, and even our own kind of individual paths, and just kind of understanding that too, then we can kind of learn how to relax. So I was very anxious and stressed out prior to my awakening, and worried about the future, right? And things like that. And now I can kind of just take every day as it comes at me and kind of go with the flow with it. Yes, I put out dreams and manifestations, but you can kind of relax a little bit when you know the universe is doing most of the work.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Yeah. Just kind of like, I think relax is a big word.
Surrender too.
Yeah. Surrender. Let go or be dragged is another way to put it. I'm curious too, like with people like you, and everybody's different. You know, I understand that the communication with the universal is different. There's, you know, essentially 8 billion Earths on the Earths, because there's 8 billion different souls, or whatever the number is. But like, what is the one or two of the most wild things that ever happened. Like, I'm talking about from the conventional 3D pair of eyes, something happening to you, be it a feeling, be it an apparition, just be it an activation or a transformation, like where you just kind of went snap. Wow,
I
that's
had a
pretty.
gonna sound weird. I had a really hard life prior to my awakening. I had, different levels of I felt that when I was trying to do the traditional path, things were like happening to me to shake up my life. And, while I was trying to like go to school like everyone else, there was stuff happening on another level that was kind of guiding me to a different kind of path with it all too. So there was like kind of things happening. So I, dealt with a lot of traumas, the earlier not a great childhood kind of stuff, addiction levels of that kind of stuff playing out in my reality and things that weren't great. I had a lot of loss. I had a lot of really hard lessons. I always say I've been in a lot of not great places on the planet and things like that. And so when I started to experience this awakening and learn how to stay positive and work on my energy and to heal myself to change my reality, this stuff all just so much helped me. But I did have I had near-death experiences. So while I was kind of trying to do what everyone else is doing, I had some powerful experiences. I had a couple of near-death experiences that were really crazy. I had a really crazy car accident where I broke like 50 bones in my body.
Holy
And so
shit.
I was always kind of getting pulled into this path of healing. I had cancer before as a child. You know what I mean? I was always getting pulled somewhere else with all of this. And despite me trying to do that matrix kind of path in life like everyone else, it was like I was getting guided somewhere else. So I really got guided right into this kind of healing stuff and healing myself and learning how to do energy work and things like that. And so I think that light workers sometimes might have even had a lot harder a past to prepare us for what we're doing now and that soul work and helping other people. So a lot of times people might think, oh, a light worker, but actually we go into the darkest of places to alchemize them and to bring these things to the surface too, kind of depending on our gifts. So I now do a lot of, so some of the things that affected me, I can help heal people with that. So I do a lot of, deeper work in these areas that I might have gone through earlier in my childhood, where I'm helping to heal people of these kind of traumas and things like that too. So everything we've kind of been through is helping us with our gifts and our path now too.
Yeah. Yeah. Morgan calls light workers shadow eaters. You got to give it its due, right?
We're here for the sick and the broken, the poor, the homeless. We're here to act as earth angels to help. And so sometimes people think that too, that it's about how we're helping on whatever level to get us there. So we really are, we're not here to be in those great places. Sometimes we are being called into the places other people don't want to go into, right?
Yeah.
The dark like that.
Yeah.
So bring healing.
It's like no stone can be unturned. Somebody's got to do it. Everyone's got to do it, and then somebody's got to do it first, and then there's a wave. People talk about waves. What was the most challenging? Because it sounded like you were, once you got started, you were on it. Like it was 24/7. And so you're like some people, your alignment was moving, consistently in like an ascending slope. But like, what was the toughest programs? Would it just be straight victim consciousness?
Oh my
Or
God, that's the worst one for me too. Because then when you go through all of that, right, then it puts you in that victim mindset of this has happened to me. And so that was like something right there. So it automatically puts us in, whether it's a dualistic kind of perspective, where we have to clear all of that too. And so, this is stuff really just helped me with bringing a lot of healing and understanding into my life. I think that's what we have to watch out for the most, is going into that victim mindset.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a tricky one with, if you look at the global thing, although I think there's more and more people that are basically being more present with themselves, and therefore the global stuff isn't the distraction it used to be, but yeah, there's such a uh, high degree of victim consciousness programming that as you expand, you look, oh, I didn't even know that one was that I was, a victim of that, because I didn't know, right? I mean, it's amazing how deep this stuff has gone, but it doesn't feel like it's sticking anymore. like a
You could
false flag frequency is not sticking anymore. What are your thoughts on
I
that?
think we can rewrite our story too. Of course, there's different experiences we're all going to have, but we have an opportunity to change and grow and to be different people, even if we want to do. So if I look at my life prior to my awakening, it probably looked a lot different than now, where, I'm this person and light worker and helping and doing videos. And I just say I'm the video girl and I come and do this work that I'm doing and this healing work. My life would have looked very different a decade or even two ago.
Yeah.
And so it's about really, picking up that pen and writing a better story, becoming a better version of ourselves too. So just the more we're working on ourselves energetically and kind of healing these areas, the better it is too.
You know, um, yeah, yes to everything you're saying. Our brother that transitioned, Franco Di Nicola, uh, he, he had some pretty good forecasting intel, and he would always say, it's only as good as the snapshot I saw because everything changes as the moment time starts to pass. But just from a metaphoric sense, I'm going to give an example, and I just want to get your take on it. You kind of I addressed this a minute ago, but I just want to go a little deeper. One of the things that he said, as we did shows together over a couple of years, is that by the end of 2023, that the Earth would be not governed but led by councils of people like you, of people that are not in those roles, say it from a traditional sense now, from a metaphoric standpoint, from an energetic standpoint. Do you feel like that's something that's achievable or that we're on track for?
I do. I believe we're building those councils, whether people are connecting with galactic councils or becoming councils here or council representatives of Earth. So I think that's important too, right? And so, what does that even mean? I think that
Right.
how we look to people to lead us is going to change in general. So, whereas people might have been turning on their television for leadership and guidance and thinking that, these people are going to be able to help us the best, we're probably going to be looking within ourselves for that guidance to spiritual leaders or people that have been kind of, getting into this kind of stuff. And so our focus is going to kind of shift with it too. So I think that, that things are kind of changing in how we're going to, understand the old. A lot of these constructs might just kind of fade away too as we're doing that deeper work. I think we are going to see bigger shifts across the collective, especially in the next year or two with everything kind of going on too.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt, when they can pull COVID off of the mainstream media instantaneously, you kind of go, "What? Now, what were you telling us?"
It's a lot of what I'm sure I used to post a lot about this kind of
I did
stuff
too. Yeah, I did
happening.
too.
I didn't realize it till later, right? But I was posting a lot of stuff about
Yeah,
healing and detoxing and avoiding this kind of stuff I see. And then when all of this kind of happens, it makes you kind of think about it and be like, oh my God, right? Like, right.
yeah,
So this stuff is just coming out in the open, though. I think that we're seeing more, we're perceiving more. It's more loud
yeah,
kind of in front of us too. And so then you really know that you're tapping into this kind of stuff because of the messages you've been putting out and the things you've been trying to teach people too, especially with all this.
yeah. Well, and I think there's something to be said too. There seems to be more um, evidence of, even though it's still not like mainstream provable, but evidence of this conversion of the carbon-based body to a light body. Like things are not uh, getting to us, I guess you could say, or at least the opportunity for us to be impervious or fortify ourselves or transform energy is more abundant now through, strangely enough, through these heroes and heroines journeys of all these people that are just doing all this crazy shit the last 10 years that's starting to that hasn't faded away, like they're just getting to be more illuminated beacons of light, basically, in a very non-traditional way based on our past. So it's
And we're still
interesting.
showing up despite everything. Right? So that's a powerful calling too. That we're pushing past it and still showing up. I think that people are going to notice some of these, as you say, everyday heroes more and more rising up to help too from things happening.
Yeah, I think about this. Like, there's been a lot of strange weather, like in Australia, because I talk to Morgan every day, and it's like they got people, it looks like Katrina. Uh, and then, of course, over here, I mean, we had 75, 80-degree weather, and 2 days later, we got 3, 4 inches of snow, and so what'll happen is every now and then I'll be sitting up late at night, 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and all of a sudden the wind starts howling and the buzzer goes off. There's a tornado alert. And I just think to myself, okay, so no matter what happens, I'm to maintain this, what I know. Like you said, utilize or have the mindset of a 5D perspective, no matter what comes. And I just look at the storm as being kind of a metaphoric, but yeah, you start to look at mortality, your own mortality in a different way. Like I'm really not dying, you know?
You're still here. Not funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know we're still here too, but we're going through mini deaths too. Anyways, that's just the ego too, because I think we go through these, whether it's something knocking you over, knocking you down, right, or you feel like that, or challenges. That's really what's happening too. It's to kind of strip past that too.
Yeah, that's that splintering I was talking about, which I feel it's for me anyway, and I have a feeling it's for the world as well, is that feminine coming up as we've seen it, starting a few years ago and pressuring, what wasn't real as it was coming out to be seen and recognized. It's quite fascinating. And there's a lot of talk about masculine and feminine energy. And again, I don't know the specificities of what you connect to. I know you're kind of like almost like a smorgasbord, though. Is what it sounds like. You pull in just different things, but like in the dance of the masculine and feminine energy. And I'm talking about collectively as a reflection of what's going on with us individually or what we're being, I don't want to say hit with, but integrated with. How do you see that? Some people have talked about kind of a new equilibrium has been achieved, and we know it goes on forever and all that we don't get there. It's the journey. But how do you feel about that? Do you feel like that there's more equilibrium in the air as the energetic genders have kind of come to a
I think the genders are going to kind of fall away. We're going to be working together more too, whether that's in relationships. We're seeing more harmony, spiritual unions, a focus on love as people are doing the deeper inner work. So we can see that a lot of times it could be like older stuff where people are having things interfere with their relationships or connections, where if we're doing that deeper work, suddenly there's more harmony and balance within all of our connections. But I do feel that we're opening up to new templates in love too, where a lot of people are really just wanting that on a deeper level. That's what we are at our core, what we're here for too, with the relationships and connections.
Yeah. And if we haven't figured it out by now, whether it be that template or another higher template of a higher alignment, it does come with these heart expansions and so on, but it always takes work. There's no shortcuts, right? I mean, it's like holding yourself accountable in integrity, even the small things. I mean, it's like everything counts now more than ever. And the payoff is there, but it just doesn't come for free. Nothing comes for free, which is cool.
That's what we're meant to teach people too, though. And I do feel that's like just us shifting into the spiritual state too. I feel people, instead of spending their time with the old and maybe doing the old jobs and things like that, people are going to feel this gravitational pull to the spiritual. And I really do feel that we are kind of setting up, we'll say, different platforms or pages or places that people can come to whether talk about the spiritual or for healing or, creating spiritual spaces. And I always say it's just kind of the future of it too, where I feel people are going to be really spending their time differently, connecting with the spiritual, learning about it, right? Like feeling a pull to it, whether it's the type of things you guys are doing with your free time and you're guided to, instead of watching Netflix, you're being guided to watch YouTube videos that are a little bit more spiritual with your free time, or what you're guided into too. We're changing like what we're drawn to.
Yeah. It's changed everything. It's changed how we communicate, how we process, how we function. Yeah. Very cool. Well, I just got to say, I'm so pleased that we got to do this after all this time, and I apologize for asking you 2 years ago and never following up.
No, it's okay.
I saw that in the message, but that's just one of the things that I'm not very good at. So I apologize to everybody. I've done that too, but yeah, I'd love to get together with you again later in the year and catch up and see what's happening again. See what you're doing. I wish you the very best on all your endeavors, and all blessings to you and all those around you. But yeah, thanks so much. And thank you for what you're doing, because as you know, it has, much more effect then we might think it's not, as we go, so goes the collective. So thank you.
Oh, sending so much love. It's amazing you guys did have me on here. I'm always around if you want to do it later. Amazing to chat with you anyways. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you, everybody. We don't have anything else planned today, but you never know. Okay, so you just never know. Yeah, the spontaneous energy works in this transition we call Ascension. Rod James, deep respect, big props on what you've been doing. And again, I look forward to seeing you again in 2022 if you're cool with that.
Amazing. Talk to you then.